The king in the north! The king in the north!
Yo, as always, like, share, subscribe. Now let's just get into it. So Michigan will play TCU in the Fiesta Bowl. It's playoff time. So this is what it's all about. This is everything that they've came back this year to try to accomplish, get back to the playoff, and this time win it. So let's just get into it. So I've been doing research on TCU because I'm a Big Ten guy, or for the most part, I haven't gotten to watch that much TCU, so I had to go do some research. And from what I'm seeing, I'm just gonna start with the TCU offense versus our defense. Now they've got Max Duggan. He was a Heisman finalist, and this dude's a stud. Like, for what he did in that Big 12 championship, that's what it's all about. Giving it everything you got. I got respect for him for what he did, and I blame his coach at the end for not QB sneaking it. Your quarterback got you there with his legs. Let him go and finish it, but that's neither here nor there. But this dude is a beast. He can throw it, and he can run it. Now, I'd say, if I can make a comparison, I guess I would say Sean Clifford, maybe a year or two ago, when he was a little more healthy and a little more spry, had a little more youth in them legs, and hasn't been through all those hits that he is now. But he throws it better than him, so that's just the closest guy I could say that we've actually faced. So with that being said, he's got like 3,300 yards passing, 30 TDs, 4 picks. Now, with that being said, the thing about TCU is, if you just look at their stats, they're what I would want our offense to be as far as statistics. They average 200 yards on the ground, average 270 through the air. That's the best of both worlds. Now, it's hard to take I can't fully take these stats with all that because it's Big 12. We all know the Big 12. They're going to throw it around. They're going to play sorry defense. So I can't take that with it. So I had to go through their schedule and look at, okay, who did they face with a similar type of defensive style as Michigan? And it was Texas. They beat Texas 17-10. And so just some things that I saw in that game. And thing I noticed, they've got 22 sacks on the year, and Texas sacked Duggan, I think, like 4 times in that game. So the thing is, I believe, especially if Mike Morris and Oki are back, they can exploit TCU's offensive line and get to Duggan. Now, you got to get him to the ground, and you get there, you got to get him to the ground. So I know people are going to say, well, what's the plan on that? I would probably spy him. I would probably either spy him or do delayed blitzes for a guy like that. Now, sometimes that can work and it might not work depending on who's the spy. If you got a spy that's kind of a bonehead and he takes bad angles and things like that, well, he can still get off. But if you got a spy that's locked in, like, it's over for you. If you thought you was finna run today, it's a wrap. I'm on you all game. So it just depends on who you have as that spy. Now, the thing about their passing game, they got Quentin Johnson. He's got like 900 yards on the year, 5 TDs. This dude, he makes big time catches, and that's not just going up and getting it. That's just knowing how to position his body to get the ball and catch it. Like, he makes tough catches downfield. With that being said, corners, find the ball. It's that simple. I'm not sure. Will they use DJ Turner? Will they use Will Johnson? Honestly, Jamon Green needs to be the third back. By the time we play this game, Will Johnson is pretty much a sophomore, and he should be ready to take that starting job. Jamon Green, he just don't find the ball. So that's the problem with him. His coverage is great, but when you got a quarterback that's gonna throw it, like that's not afraid to throw into coverage. Like, yeah, you got good coverage, but guess what? I'm letting this thing rip. So you having good coverage doesn't matter because you're not gonna find the ball, and you'll get mossed on like we've seen, and players will make big time catches because you're just not gonna find the ball. I mean, what can I say? Now, their running back, Kendre Miller, he's got 1,300 yards, 17 TDs. He's serviceable. I think he's like 6 foot 220, so he's serviceable. He's a good back. I ain't gonna lie. So, with that being said, similar to these last 3 games with the kind of passing offenses that we faced, you want to keep guys back. Now, in the Big Ten Championship, we played a lot of zone first half, and O'Connell shredded it. So I wouldn't recommend running zone as much as we did in that first half. Now, maybe they'll have 15 practices by the time the game is played, so maybe they've got time to iron out the kinks to consistently run zone. But if not, I'd stick to mostly man mixed with zone mixed in here and there. But the main thing is you want to keep guys over the top. Quentin Johnson, I don't think I would leave him one-on-one much. I just wouldn't. I'd have somebody over him, a safety, or I'd be playing off, you know what I'm saying? Or have tight man coverage with a safety over the top like that. He's got 900 yards. Their second leading receiver, I think he has like 5 something, and then the 4. So he's got as much as their second and third receivers almost combined. So, and he's got like 80 targets. The other receivers, the top one has like 50 targets, and behind them like 50. So that's who Duggan's gonna look for. So if you can just cover him tight and make Duggan hesitate because he's gonna want to throw it to him, hesitate and go to that second and third read, then you're in business. Because by that time, you hope Mike Morris is getting there, Graham or Mozzie or Oki or Jalen Harrell, somebody. You're hoping someone gets there, or either the blitz gets there. So you want to just keep somebody over the top, make sure he can't beat you, and get those big gains. Similar to like Ohio State or some of those teams. But the difference is between like Marvin Harrison and Quentin Johnson, this dude's 6'4" and he's a burner. Marvin Harrison's not really a burner. This dude can run. So that's the thing. Keep a guy over the top, however you have to do it, so he can't beat you deep. Make sure you take him out the game. Make Duggan hesitate. Spy Duggan if needed. You may not have to. And also account for him in the zone read game. And that's just fundamentals. Knowing who you have to take and knowing your responsibilities. So Michigan does that. You can slow them down. Similar to like Texas did. Texas held them to 17 points. That's what you want. That ain't a lot of points. 17. Similar. We want something similar. No matter how you get it, let them get it in the first half, turn up second half, you get nothing. Or you get field goals. Last thing, with Duggan also in the red zone, you have to watch him because he'll pull it in the read and go get first downs, go get that touchdown. So you got to be aware of that also. Whether it's a read or if it's just a QB power or something like that, QB sneak. Now, with TCU's defense going against our offense, now I know they run a 3-3-5. And I know we all know about the 3-3-5. I don't see why you would run that defense, but I guess you can get away with it somewhat in the Big 12 But you can't get away with it in the Big Ten because it's just too many power running teams. You're going to get manhandled. But the thing I will say about watching TCU run this 3-3-5 is they know what they're doing. And what I mean by that is they play fast in the system. And if you don't know what I mean by that, like when we were running that zone last week, guys were confused and stuff like that. That's not playing fast in the system. That's confusion. When I was watching TCU, everybody looked like they know what they were doing. So when you know what you're doing, you can play fast. So that's the thing about them. Now, the thing that can be exploited, which is probably why a lot of people are picking Michigan, is because the thing that Michigan does is we're going to run that ball down your throat. And we're going to tire you out. We're going to keep hitting you with body blows until we start knocking you out. And Donovan Edwards is gone 60 yards in a cloud of smoke. So that's the thing. So in that 3-3-5, their linebackers, similar to, I would say, like Ohio State was doing, they play downhill. They're coming. And if playing a team like us, and like I was watching Texas and some of their other games, you got a team that you know is going to run the ball, that you have to play like that because you're in a 3-3-5. Your D linemen are already at a disadvantage unless you got some straight monsters. So with that being said, if Michigan just controls the line of scrimmage and just wears them out, they should fold. Honestly, they should fold. Just from, you're trying to go against a 3-3-5 to just account for what we do in the run game. You're going to have to bring extra help. Now, their safeties, their linebackers, they come up. So when they do that, JJ, the offensive coordinators, they're going to have to know when to exploit them being in these zero coverages that they sometimes do, and sometimes they will have to do to keep us from getting 6 yards a pop with our great offensive line and our stud back. I'm not sure if CJ Stokes will play 15 practices. If he don't play in the bowl game after 15 practices, I don't know what's going on with him. But by the time we play, if he's doing everything right, he should get some carries. To me, with CJ Stokes, it's about patience. Our run game isn't a easy run game to pick up as a young back because it involves patience and vision. So it's not just about getting it and running to the hole as fast as you can. No, you have to be a little patient, let the blocks develop, then you explode through it. That's why it seems like Donovan Edwards and Blake sometimes would be just patient and then boom. Because it's a patient, you have to let those blocks develop. So I'm not sure about him, but they should be able to wear them out like that with the power running game, our scheme. Just it's the 3-3-5. We all know it. We all witnessed Rich Rod get us destroyed all those years running the 3-3-5. But the thing I will say, TCU plays fast and physical for a 3-3-5. They do play fast and physical. I will say that. But going up against Michigan's great offensive line, I'm not sure if it'll be enough. And with the play action and things like that, they should just get exploited. However, I mean, their defensive ratings, they're not good. They give up like 150 a game on the ground. And I think like I want to say 2 something in the air. So from their stats, it's a pick your poison on their defense. So them knowing us, because they're playing Michigan and everybody knows we're going to try to run the ball. So you're going to have to pick your poison. And you're in a 3-3-5, so you're already at a disadvantage. So you're either going to have to bring those safeties down and have those linebackers crashing, which means you got one-on-ones. That's one way you can try to slow us down. But then if you do that, or you can try to keep those safeties back and try to stop the run with your front six or front seven with that other corner in the 3-3-5 or safety, and say we're gonna live with y'all getting 5 and 6 yard a carry. Which, if you've watched Michigan all year, Jim Harbaugh will gladly live with that. So if you either want JJ to beat you or you want the run game to beat you. You're going to have to pick. And they really going to have to pick running a 3-3-5. Because it's just not likely they're going to be able to consistently stop it without blitzing those linebackers or without bringing those safeties all the way up. If that makes sense. Now, with they've got a corner, and he's a senior corner, but this dude is 5'9". Now he knows what he's doing in man coverage, but the problem is you just short. Now, if I'm seeing this, I'm thinking Cornelius Johnson, 6'3". Even Darius Clemens, what's he, 6'3"? I get a one-on-one matchup. JJ, throw that ball to the moon. And what I mean by to the moon, throw it up so it comes straight down and he can get mossed. He's 5'9". Throw that thing up to Cornelius Johnson and let him let Hodges Tomlinson get mossed. You too little, dog. I don't care about you having no good coverage or either split leveling out. Don't matter. He's little. He can be exploited just on, okay, this is just a bad match. You little. Your coverage skills can't make up for you being short. They just can't. Quarterback throws it up too high. All you can do is reach, and you're not going to be able to get up that high. It's just simple as that. So that's something that I would think to exploit with either Cornelius or Darius Clemens or maybe even Loveland. Hell, he's 5'9". I might throw it up to Ronnie Bell. I mean, the dude is little. So, that's just something else I would say you can exploit. But this is a big game to just run that ball and play action, because I think they're going to, for them to have a chance in that 3-3-5, even though they play it fast and physical, I think they're going to have to play a similar game plan to Ohio State. Just because you're in a 3-3-5. I mean, you're going to have to be blitzing those linebackers and leaving those safeties in those corners on islands. Now, it's up to JJ and the offensive coordinators to also mix in some eye candy and execute. Coordinators have to know what they're seeing, get the right play called, and JJ and the receivers execute. I don't know how many times I've watched that Ohio State game and watched and been like, man, what if Cornelius would have dropped that double move where he was wide open? Like, what if he would have dropped that? Because I thought he looked like he was gonna drop it for a second. So I've watched, every time I watched it, I'm like, man, I'm so glad he caught that ball, because he looked like he looked like he was almost about to drop it. But you know what I'm saying? So just watching games, you see plays, dudes wide open and they drop passes and things like that. So it's about execution. Even in watching that Texas TCU game, Texas had a lot of drop passes. So it's just about execution. The plays will be there because they're going to have to play an aggressive style to deal with our running game and what Jim Harbaugh does. But with that being said, they still have to execute. The plays will be there, but you have to execute and finish the plays. So that's about all I got for this one. I see us winning this game. I don't give scores. I just tell you what I think about the game and what I think each team will do. But I think Michigan will win this game. And They just gotta. The only thing that really worries me is if Max Duggan starts getting loose early or often, and then it makes our defense kind of demoralized. I would probably rather it happen early than late, because if it happens early, you know the mad scientist mentor, he gonna go in that locker room and he gonna come out with something to shut him running around down. Whether that's blitz, spy, mush rush, pick one. He gonna come out with it, and he gonna be on some "you get nothing, Duggan. Duggan, you get nothing." So that's who worries me, honestly, about this game. If they had a lesser quarterback, I wouldn't be worried at all. But this dude has heart, and when you got a leader, get on my back. He showed that type of stuff. So he worries me. But I think Michigan should be able to handle it. That's all I got for this one. Good teams. And last thing, I always got one last thing. I wonder, and this is not me saying that I know this, I wonder, will TCU have a little bit of, we're just happy to be here? Because last year, Georgia, we had to play Georgia. We were happy to be there. Georgia was like, we lost to Bama. We want Bama, because we were the late game. Bama had already won, and Georgia was already pissed off because they lost to Bama. They were mad, and they took it out on us, which they should. So I feel like Michigan has to have that same mindset. And it seems like they do, but they have to be focused and take that anger out on TCU. Y'all got in the playoff. Sorry to tell you, we're pissed off from last year, and we about to run through you. Sorry, but you made the playoff, and we mad. So we about to run through you because we're focused and we're mad from what happened last year. So no hard feelings, but you're about to run into a freight train right now. So let's hope that's the mindset. And TCU didn't know if they were going to get in. They were worried. So, I'm not saying they will have that mindset, but I know Michigan's mindset. I'm not sure if it's about TCU's. So we'll see. That was just one last thing I wanted to throw in there. I'll probably do another video or go live. I just been decompressing. It was so good to be at Ohio State. I just been watching so much of their content. I done made myself tired. I done got worn out from watching so much Ohio State stuff and trolling them. I had to decompress. All right, the regular season's over. We beat Ohio State again. I get to talk trash to them, and then to the playoff. You know what I'm saying? So now it's back to business, and they got to get this done so we can either play Georgia again, which is most likely, or play Ohio State again, which I really don't want to do. I feel like they shouldn't be there. You know what I'm saying? Don't want to play them again. You only get to play us once. So, but I don't think Ohio State will beat Georgia anyway. I just don't see it. But that's neither here or nor there right now. But I think Michigan is on a mission to get to that title game and do what they can to try to win that chip. So that's all I got for this one, y'all. I ain't want to ramble on too long at the end. You know how I get. But as always, like, share, subscribe. And as always, go blue.
It's great to be a Michigan Wolverines.